Whew. So, bit of a different angle. I've moved the camera. It was over there, looking into the sort of corner. Now I've brought it sort of straight on, with the background being flat. I've also changed the lighting a little bit to be a bit more dramatic, you could say, because I felt like before I was blending into the background because everything was lit up. Now the light is more focused on me, so it makes it a bit more just focused on me, on the subject, the person who's talking. So yeah, I quite like it. I'm quite happy with this setup so far, and it doesn't actually take up much of my room, much of my studio. It takes up less room now, which is ideal too. Anyway, ever since I made that $9,000 in a week video, where I made $9,000 in a week from my icons, you guys have been asking, what service did I use? How did I sell them online? What did I do basically to sell those assets online? So I wanted to make a quick video on basically doing that and how to sell digital goods online. So the first thing you're going to want to figure out is what you're actually going to sell, what you're going to make to sell online. So depending on what you're good at, there's different avenues you could go down. So for example, if you're a designer like me, you can make things like icons, wallpapers, themes, other similar sort of items. If you're a developer, you can make things like, I'm looking at my notes here, you can make things like plugins, coding manuals and apps and things like that. You know, you can sell those online with the service that I'm going to be talking about in a second. If you're a photographer, you can sell things like presets, tutorials and photos, you know, stock footage and things like that. So work out what you're good at, work out what you can make when it comes to a digital asset, you know, whatever it is you're good at in your industry. That is what you're going to sell. Once you have that item ready, you need to prepare your assets, you could say. So you've got to prepare the sort of marketing material and the actual thing that you're selling. So usually, whatever you're selling, you're going to want to put in a zip file. I think most people know how to make a zip file. If you don't, just Google it. It's honestly the easiest thing ever. And then you're going to want to make images and sort of cover images for your product. So as an example, for my minimal icon set, I set up those icons on my phone, and then I took a picture of my phone on a nice black background and used that as the cover image, just to demonstrate what the product actually looks like and what you can do with it. Once you have your product ready, now you've got to work out how you're actually going to sell it online. So there's so many different services out there that help you sell digital goods online. You can use services like Shopify and WooCommerce, but there's one service that I've been using for years and that I always recommend to anyone else who's just getting started when it comes to selling digital goods online, and that is Gumroad. So there's quite a few reasons as to why I recommend Gumroad when it comes to selling digital assets online, digital products and things like that, especially for someone who's starting out. As I said, starting out, someone who doesn't have a website, who doesn't have all these sort of different things set up, who doesn't really have any knowledge of taking payments and stuff, I think Gumroad is absolutely ideal for you. So the first one being, it's super easy to get started, to sign up and get started and make a product. When it comes to actually putting a product for sale online through Gumroad, their sort of process of doing it, the step-by-step that they have, is so easy. I think anyone can follow it, and it's what makes it so attractive to anyone and everyone to use. You don't need to set up a website. For a lot of people, setting up a website is quite a daunting task, which I can completely understand. If you have no knowledge of setting up websites and things like that, it's just a lot of work, it's a lot of hassle. And what Gumroad does is, when you sign up for Gumroad, they give you a profile with your own link, with your own username, with your own profile picture, and it basically becomes your own website that you can link to from anywhere. You know, you can link it on your social profiles or whatever else. Once you make a product as well, you can link directly to the product from anywhere too, and it has its own product page. So no messing around with websites, no messing around with having to set up your own store or anything like that. Gumroad handles everything. Gumroad also handles VAT. So if you're someone in the UK or in Europe and you're selling digital products online in the UK or in Europe, you have to add VAT to your products and you have to pay that VAT. So what Gumroad does is make that super easy. They work out your customer location. So wherever your customers are coming from, they'll work out the location for you. They'll charge the appropriate amount of VAT because different countries have different rates, and then they'll pay that VAT for you. So it makes your taxes much easier. You don't have to worry about charging your customers VAT. Gumroad handles that all automatically, and it just makes your taxes easier. Of course, you do still have to pay the taxes on any profits you make from the product, but VAT is just something that it's just so much hassle, so much work, and I think that can actually put off a lot of people when it comes to selling digital goods online. So it's really good to know that Gumroad handles that all for you. You get to keep all of your customer information. So a lot of other similar services, when you have customers, when you have users and all these different things, you don't actually get that user information. So for example, if someone subscribes to you on YouTube or someone follows you on Instagram, all you get is their username and that's it. That's all you get. With Gumroad, when someone actually buys a product, you get their email, you get their address, you get whatever information that you require when you actually set up the product. And that actually makes it super easy if you ever need to move platform, or if you ever need to use that information for anything else, whether you need to email your customers for updates or things like that. You know, if you've updated a product, you can do all of that within Gumroad. And yeah, Gumroad aren't holding that information privately so that you can't access it. You can export all of that information and move to another platform. Maybe Gumroad dies, or maybe they're shutting down their service, or whatever else it may be. Knowing that you can export all of your customer information and use it elsewhere is very, very important and very, very vital to building up a good customer base. Gumroad has an awesome analytics tool built in. So you can see things like product views, you can see your sales, you can see your total revenue, all that sort of stuff. And you can even drill down to each product. You can change dates, you can do all sorts of stuff. Being able to see all that information, being able to see vital information about your products, about your sales, about your revenue, all these different things, I think is very, very important. And seeing what days work best, what days don't, all this sort of stuff, seeing where sales have come from, whether they come from website, whether they come from somewhere else, someone else's website, whether they come from email. You can see all of that within Gumroad. You can set up all different types of products. So you could set up a digital product to sell right away. You could set up a product to be available for pre-order. So pre-order, I think, is a really good way to gain interest for a product, because you can get pre-orders and Gumroad doesn't actually charge the customer until you release the product. They just make sure that the card is active, which is a great way to see if customers or potential followers are actually interested in your products. You can also set up memberships. So I'm sure you guys have heard of websites like Patreon and things like that, where you can have a membership and you can post to your members. Gumroad has that too, has it all built in, and they actually take, I think it's a lower cut, I'm not completely sure, but yeah, it's a great way to set up a membership so that maybe you release products every month or every week or whatever else it may be, you know, on a continuous sort of cycle. You can have followers and whatever else, whatever customers subscribe to your memberships, and they will get that product, they will get whatever else you're selling every month. And it's just a great way to have that recurring revenue. If you're someone who does have a website like myself, but doesn't want to go through the hassle of setting up a separate store, Gumroad can actually be embedded into your website, and it just works on sort of overlaying over your main website, which I think is fantastic. I use it for selling my Lightroom presets. So when someone goes to the Lightroom presets page, they'll click on the purchase button and it will just show an overlay about the product. They can press the buy now button and it'll take all their credit card information, all secure and encrypted, so your customer information is safe. And yeah, they never actually have to leave a website. You can sell your product on your website and make it look like it's all embedded into your website. It's a really nice way to do it. And yeah, Gumroad has all the scripts, all the codes to do it. You just copy and paste it into a post, like a blog post or wherever else, and it just all works. So yeah, if you're looking to sell digital products online, whether they be on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, places like that, I highly recommend Gumroad. They're not sponsoring this video or anything. It is just a service that I've used for years and I've always recommended it, and I just love using it. And yeah, I use it to sell pretty much all of my digital products that I have. My minimal icons, I sell them through here. It's what a lot of you asked, you know, how do I sell them? What do I do to sell them? And yeah, Gumroad is what I use. And it's funny because I look at my stats for my minimal icons. I can see that I've made 1,500 sales, over 1,500 sales, and it's brought in $28,000. Now, I was not expecting these icons to do anywhere near that well. I was really surprised that they even made over $5,000, over $1,000. You know, I just wasn't expecting to make $28,000 from some iOS 14 icons. These icons aren't just limited to iOS 14, they will work on Android and wherever else. But yeah, $28,000 from a bunch of icons all through Gumroad, and Gumroad only takes, I think it's like 8%, something like that. Actually, no, 5% when you have their premium plan. I definitely think it's worth it. And yeah, it's a great way just to sell digital goods online. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you want more videos like this, please leave a comment below. I want to make sure that you guys like these sorts of videos. So the more people comment, the more people like, the more I will know that you guys actually want to see these types of videos. So yeah, follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.